Welcome everybody. Today we're over John's and I'm going to put the tucker together. Maybe. Get this stuff off of here. We got to get the battery plugged in. What? There's nobody out there viewing it yet? Usually you guys are jumped right on it. 31 seconds and we got one. Took 31 seconds to get one. Not too bad. Okay. Been promising alignment for a while now. We've been through this a bunch of times. How important alignment is, how to do it, but we're going to go through it one more time. Two viewers and 3 thumbs up. Okay, that's great. So first thing that's happening is John's scraping off the table so we can glue to it. Now this is probably the nicest table I've ever worked on. I have a table at home. It's not quite this big. It's this long, but not as wide.
48 by 70.
This table would be absolutely ideal for building beam wing airplanes. I mean, you can do it on any level flat glass, but this is the nicest table I've ever worked on. 3/8 glass. I mean,
yep.
The only thing it would be better is if it was marble or granite or whatever that ground stuff is, like a surface plate and layout, but you can hardly beat this. So he's getting all the boogies off so we don't ding up the wood like some guys do.
Yeah, it happened real easy. That's for sure.
Jack, thank you, Jack. Hey, I see you've been here long enough. You got your clapperboard icon. Jack is a member. If you'd like to see some of the videos that are members only videos, hit the join button. This week is going to be the Raid Bearcat 2 finishing. And Al shows a lot of details how he does landing gear bays and how he inks and shadows and all that. Al's pretty in depth on some of the stuff he does. I also have a landing gear video from Al. The only problem is it just, I'm trying to get to you guys as quick as I possibly can. It just takes a lot of time to get Al's unclosed videos formatted to MP4. And I don't have my supercomputer anymore, so I'm doing it on a laptop. Today we're working off the phone again, which I hate, which sometimes I delete posts and maybe accidentally eject you or whatever. If that happens, it's not intentional. Just the phone is very hard to use. Yes, thank you. Join to support the Stunt Hanger shows, like Jack says. We put a lot of work into these things. It doesn't seem like it because they're not edited, they're right off the cuff, but if you take the time that it takes to build the airplane, I mean, it's a ridiculous amount of time.
You think?
Okay, this is my method of putting one together. You don't have to do it this way. The old way was to cut the bottom out of the airplane. That's how the nobler kits were designed or whatever. Since we've last talked, I've considerably lightened this up, wouldn't you say, John?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it's had a few ounces taken off of it, at least ounces probably.
Oh, over.
Multiples. Okay, I'm trying to get you need a single edge razor blade to get them unglued, don't you?
They're not glued, but I need it to split the fuselage. I noticed something here. God, this tape is so sticky it pulled the wood up.
Yeah, that's raw wood. You don't have anything on that. No base coat or nothing. You got that sanded out pretty nice. Ah, yeah. You got it sanded out real good, don't you?
Some spots.
Ah. As typical, there's no excuse for not having the inside of this stuff done as well as the outside, and it takes away stress risers and everything else. So
Hold it up there and show them.
you look at the inside of this, it's 90% of the way done what the outside is, at least 90% of the way, maybe a little bit more. And
it's not finished yet.
He's got a little teeny bit in the front, which this can be done afterwards, which
Right.
probably will be because it'll just be inside where the bottom of the motor sits. But this little tail, it's not much. It's just taking a little round piece of brass tubing or something and putting a piece of sandpaper on it and finishing that up. But everything else is as good as you're gonna get.
That's why the marks are there. If you hold this up to the light and look through it.
And you can see your little spots. Yeah. You got a little
Actually, the whole thing needs to be that color. But that's a lot of work.
Man, you're getting down there to push. You're an 1/8 inch right now. You're getting down there pushing the 1/16 if you go to where it's all pink. Pink. It's pink. See, you're right at an 1/8 of an inch.
Where's peach? How thick is it? I didn't have one of them thingies. I had to do it the old-fashioned way. Guess. Yeah, better stay off the peach.
Peach is a 1/16 or less. Yeah, I wouldn't do anything more with that. It's pretty much an 1/8 inch everywhere. These things are sort of hard to use one-handed. 1/8 inch.
The only way you're going to make your airplane light is to do that. Is to get after it and...
Yeah, you can't just put these things on there and sand the outside and leave them glued on there like that. That don't work. Don't work.
Cal's done the same way. I am going to have to cut the bottom off, I guess. There's, you know, on any of this stuff, there's going to be more come off of it before it's finished, but...
Yeah, and you're adding and you're not subtracting as much as you're adding. You're sort of playing the game a little bit. This is still pretty heavy. I can tell. You'll know when you cut that hole out in the front.
Yeah. I'll get another That weighs an ounce there. I think it's an ounce. I'll get another 1/4 ounce out of it anyway.
Yeah, fiberglass at first. Get your holes cut out in fiberglass at first and then sand it out. Makes it a little easier to handle.
Oh, damn.
You got a heavy spot?
Got away from me.
Yeah, it won't hurt nothing. Not this stage of the game.
It's only wood. I got plenty putty.
All this stuff's roughed into the fuselage right now. It's not super accurate, but it's getting down there to where it's getting pretty accurate. And he won't get down to super accurate until he gets it on the wing and all that. So, boy, you did a really good job of hollowing that one. This is a molded one, as you can see, opposed to this one. Molded one on the top, hollowed block on the bottom.
It's close. So, I mean,
Pretty much about the same.
I'll work on it. And
Of course, you can't get any more uniform than a molded piece. This top block's hollowed out. Have you done this yet? Have you hollowed that one out yet?
it's hollow. It was built hollow.
Okay, this one's hollowed out.
Yeah.
I started it and I think he finished it at home.
Yeah.
Whoops! There's a piece that's not.
It will be though. That goes on the bottom. Okay, now let's discuss how I do this. I usually split the fuselage right here behind this. So you want to split them in opposite directions. You don't. So this is the low part. You're not going to get to go by the high part. So we'll go right here.
Don't really want to do a saw cut here.
No.
The saw cut takes out too much material.
Better have some CA. This thing's breaking loose there. I might have to grind that a little bit too. I guess I could go opposite of that even. It don't matter. Oh no, I ruined it.
Spend all that work making that fuselage straight and you cut it apart.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Just remember, it's only wood.
Well, there you go. There's half of it. Hopefully that fits on the back and that fits on the front. Now it's a test fit thing. Test and sand to get it to fit. Let's see, we got any chatters? I'm on a lunch break and I'll watch you on the replay. Thank you so much, Jack. We got 5 thumbs up, 3 watchers. So let's see how this thing's gonna fit together. God, the wires! I just can't see spending another $500.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Okay. So the first trick of this is to, here, set these over there too, is to make the front fit and then the back fit. Or vice versa, it doesn't much matter. It's pretty close. Let's see what's going on here. I don't know why it's not sliding down on there all the way.
Well, that's stopping a little bit. Let's see if this other side. It should go on up in there unless it's hitting on the inside edges of these, because they need to be tapered in there a little bit.
Yeah, that's what it is. So break out the grinder and grind the crap out of these things. Let's see how the back fits. I need to put a, now if you'll notice here, uh-oh, what happened? We're leaning. There we go. If you'll notice here, I have a bulkhead right here, and it's set back approximately 3/16. Well, that's going to hold those bearings, theoretically, in there. So we'll see how that works. But I need a 3/32 drill bit. I didn't bring a hand grinder.
You can work over there on that side if you want. There's a cord right laying there on the floor.
Yeah.
You want a 3/32 drill bit.
1/8 inch.
1/8 inch?
Yeah, because I forgot the flap horns are 1/8. Or the next size up, it doesn't matter. Something close.
This is 1/8.
So I'm going to grind for a little bit, so hold your ears. Okay, so it might fit. We'll try it. Gonna have to cut and fit and whatever until that goes on there easily and all the way back. More on this side.
Put your back on there too, and then see if it's all the way touching on the joint. You might be already touching there, and that cutout in that fuselage side might be just a little bit heavy.
Now this is the Lincoln log setup. Any of you guys as kids play with Lincoln logs, remember that you had the log with a notch in it. Okay, drill bit. Now this is set 3/16 of an inch back, so you got to make a hole for the wire, and I don't know, this bulkhead may be in the way, but we'll see. It's only wood, we'll just cut it out.
Yeah, I always put a big bulkhead in right there and cut out whatever I don't need. You want a little bit of strength right there at the back of the fuselage, so. Old-fashioned way, I should have given you a single-edge razor blade with tape on one side of it.
Why?
Just a nostalgia's sake.
Thanks.
Not to remind you of a kid when you cut your knuckles up.
Gotta have a matchbook on the back of it.
Take these off, put these down here before you poke a hole in something. Let's see something here real quick while you're. Oh.
We're close. Now, take the flap off. Let's see here. It's those bearings that are holding it up.
Yeah, you're hitting on the arm, you're hitting on the bearings.
Yeah. So, what was that beep, 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 beep?
That's my phone. Sometimes try and tell me something stupid.
We'll just take this bulkhead out of here and build it back in there and see what happens. Okay. We're a little, yeah, that nose has got to go back a little bit.
Well, Rockler and Harbor Freight had to let me know what the latest and greatest was. Know what Rockler is? It's sort of a middle to high-end woodworking
All right.
company, supply house.
We're gonna have to cut that wire off because it's holding up the fuselage.
I'm gonna take this and sort of do something here.
Okay.
Here, before you set that down there again, let me put this down there real quick. I want to just cover that
What?
pointy edge there.
Okay. Gonna have to cut that wire off. I'm kind of out of cord.
Top.
That front is still not fitting correctly. It needs to go back. I don't know what. Maybe it's going on there all the way.
I think this is just a little heavy on the fuselage side.
Let me cut this off. Hold on to the wing, it's sliding around. At least it didn't go there.
Yeah, they normally do, don't they? Take this and put this like this. This like this. Put a little mark on there, the back edge of that. Top and bottom, gotta do that top and bottom.
Sometimes I take a paint stick with 80 grit sandpaper and relieve that area.
Yeah, you might end up having to do that a little bit. At least this will give you a tattletale mark. You'll know if it's hitting. It's actually seating up in there.
Yeah.
You can tell here on the bottom, it's lacking a little on the bottom. See that?
Yeah.
It might be hitting up on the top. I don't have a witness mark on the fuselage side. So let's make a little witness mark up here. Each side.
That's hard to do when you're just guessing.
Yeah, well, there's a way. Not easy, but there is a way.
I think it might be right there, right in the turn right there.
Yeah, it could be.
And I can't really grind down deep enough with this.
There's a little lot of that.
Maybe if I take the cutoff wheel and go get in there, or
these wings are slippier than all get out in there. And see, that side lines up pretty good. This side can go back 1/8 of an inch, it's showing. And I can see on the bottom. You can see your gap. You got plenty of room here to come on back. So it's all on the top, which is probably, like you say, in these motor mount areas up in here.
Yeah.
Maybe file that off a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I did on one of mine too, is I made this cutout in my wing, and I didn't get it vertical. It had a little bit of an angle. So I sort of know what his next step he's going to want. He's going to want a flat sanding block, something sort of hard. Some good sandpaper on it.
Paint stick.
Paint stick. I don't have paint stick down here.
Plywood.
What I did have was some shim shingles. I thought I had some. Maybe not.
I think this probably got it. We shall see. That's pointed in so far, it's ridiculous. If I put it up tight to that mark, it's pointed in.
On this side?
Yeah.
I think what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to file the wing cut out off
right.
the top of it. You're going to have to file this down.
Yeah.
It looks like it's tilted a little bit. It's typical.
It's a piece of
You got a
1/8
piece of 1/8 inch or a quarter in there?
1/8.
Let's see. Probably want something coarser than that, don't you? Coarser than 320.
It needs to go. It needs to go like that. Wow, I really got it angled. We can't have that. The motor will be pointed in. Even if I got to cut it out and re-glue it in there. That's how much it's got to go.
That's the side, really?
Well,
Yeah.
this is you know, I did this in the dark.
Nah, you wouldn't do nothing like that.
Yeah, see, if I put it on like that, this fuselage is pointed in.
Got to do whatever you got to do to make it work.
Yeah, can't be pointed in.
Hardly.
Overheads would be difficult.
Ah, come on, you could handle it.
Oh yeah, I can handle it.
Especially in some wind.
Yep. So, break out the grinder and grind the crap out of it. Hold on to this. It's
You don't need to go any on the bottom. It's all on the top, isn't it?
I don't know.
Try it.
Got to change the witness mark. Nope. Nope. Turn it over.
What do you mean?
Good push rod comes out the top, not the bottom.
Looking at it backwards. What's that gap look like?
About normal. Usually, sometimes I have to shove a piece of stuff down in there.
Wood down in there.
The main thing is to get the wing square.
You see, this is the side you sanded everything off of. And that's come up in there, and this side's still got a gap. But we don't know what's square right now. What we need to do is pull that control horn out and take a square and put it on the trailing edge, come up here and square the fuselage side and see where we set that there.
Let's see what the chatter's got to say. We got 10 watchers, 6 thumbs up. Okay, last model plane I made was a 93. Made a bunch of good looking planes, but now can't seem to make a wild thing for it even close to as nice. Well, it takes practice. You gotta keep practicing.
Yeah, you do get rusty, that's for sure.
Looks to me like the thing is pointed in. It is. I'd rather have it pointed out than in. That's pretty good.
Well, towards me's out.
No.
No, towards me's in. Why does the nose look like it's curved?
Hmm?
Why does it look like there's more on this side than there is on this side?
Probably because there is, but it's not finished up. It's just roughed in. I think we need to get the straight lines drawn on the table. And see where we stand. Oh, first thing we need to do is see if the back half fits now. Yep. Well, it fits because it's upside down.
Make a difference.
Pretty close. We can relieve that trailing edge just a smidge. Yeah, I don't mind this. I mean,
That's not, you don't have to worry about that. That all goes into your fillet and stuff. The biggest thing is getting this on here square and getting it back as far as you can.
so normally what I do at home is I put a big cross on the table. I'm gonna go get a soda.
Yeah, bring me one down too. A regular Dr. Pepper.
A regular Dr. Pepper.
Regular Dr. Pepper. I don't have any diet.
You might go zip then.
Yeah, I know. I gotta watch out. This dimension really doesn't mean anything left or right as long as you're on the table.
Only 2 cold cans in there.
Again or not, that's plenty dark enough. Plenty.
I'm gonna take these wheels off. Where did you put them?
Take them off. You don't need to take them off.
I can just move them to the end. Okay. Only problem is you didn't figure we got to have the fuselage hanging over the edge of the bench because of the nose ring.
Set it up there. It's going to be right about right in there where you need this for the trailing edge of the wing. The only reason you got to do that is because of the nose ring on there for the spinner ring. Right there is where I got it laid out for about right there. Want it on the table more?
Yeah.
All the way back there. Leave a little gap.
Okay, right there. See, I got a mark on the center line.
Okay.
I don't have a mark on the fuselage center line. On this side.
This line's really sort of irrelevant.
That's what squares the wing.
Well, we'll square it with sticks.
There's the center line right there.
You can hold me on this line here. Good enough.
See, what I normally do is I build 4 triangles. And I glue them to the bench so that this stays put.
You haven't let me get anything out yet. Jesus, criminy. Yeah, picky.
These are wings.
Now just hold your horses. These are shimming up and down under your wings.
Right.
Get your level right. And all these should be at a 90. So you can just put them on wherever you want your fuselage setting at on your center lines, and then just tack them down. Doesn't take much on these things, just a little.
That's it. You know, the guy who invents an unclogging glue bottle is going to be a millionaire.
Oh yeah. You dang thing. So much for these little so-called
Well, Jason, if you follow my channel and follow the tips that I put forward, your airplanes will progress considerably. Because since I've started this channel, I've seen the airplanes get better. Haven't you, John?
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I think part of that is this, and I think another part of it is the fact that guys are spending more time. The coronavirus or whatever, and they're in their shops more. And that's what it takes. It takes time. You'll find out on all this stuff. If you don't put in the time, you don't get the results.
Cases of grease, elbow grease.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to that stage yet on ours. All right, there's that. Ain't good enough. I'm gonna put these on the fuselage back when we get it on there.
There's your zip.
Now, if you want to, we can. Where's my weights at? That's what I always do.
Put that big chunk of steel up on it.
Inside the tank compartment. Where's my? There they are. I'm looking right at them.
Man, the guy who did that did a good job.
You can put another one of these in here if you wanted to sort of lock it front and back, but I find you really need to be able to move it just a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's not super tight in there, but it's tight enough to hold it pretty accurately. 1/64 of an inch or something. So now we can stick the wing in there and sort of see where we're at on that aspect.
I'm tethered up.
Yeah.
Got to go forward. That's where the wing is square.
That's on the line right
Yep.
there.
Pretty close, yeah.
Now see, you're touching here and you got a gap over here just like you had before.
So I need to grind out this side then. Or, well, it doesn't matter. I just, as long as it's in there square.
Well, I mean, your fuselage doesn't come together on it. See which side were we? That's the side that we were sanding on. Let's see something. I think we're going to have to take this fuselage and grind them motor mounts out a little bit down in there. And well, you did that somewhat, didn't you?
Yeah.
Might need a little more. Have to get the stick.
In all actuality, this all should be built as one unit. Fuselage and wing together, just like a Beamer.
Does make it nice when it's like that. I'm gonna have to put
Your
a
planes
car.
will get a lot better. Yep. Right. What weight did you get the top block down to? I think it was 27 grams. Hey guys, if you look, Craig has got a little clapper board and his name is in green. That's because he's a member. Please consider becoming a member or dropping a super chat to support the channel. As YouTube is not real good on compensating us. We don't have 1 million subscribers. So like, subscribe, share. I am going up quite a bit in views and subscriberships. Okay, this is pretty close right there. I don't care what happens to the front there.
Yeah, I know that. Where are we at here on this line? Are we square right there?
Yeah, pretty close.
Okay,
Well,
now we got to see what the fuselage does.
we need to maybe tack one of these on that line.
Yeah, one on each end, right square on that line. You can push it right up to that line and just let the fuselage nose overhang the bench a little bit. You good?
Yeah.
Might take a kicker on that. Sometimes it does. Where are you at about?
Right on the line. No, you got to turn. Yeah, that one there, that would be a disaster. Uh-oh. I don't have this one on right. Because you got an X on the side that goes to the line, right?
It should be.
Yeah. And the glue back. Yeah, I had it turned around. Okay. Oh, pushing it back.
Let's put another drop of glue on the other side of it. Thought it might wick around there, getting it.
Okay.
Doesn't take much, but does take a little.
Okay, that is square.
We're not touching on the nose ring. Now, we need a center line. We need a mark on the wing tip. We can sort of tell on the trailing edge. And because we got to shim this thing up and down, left and right, and all that stuff. And that's what these little wedges are for.
Oh, you got that surface plate layout gauge.
Right. Well, I use that in conjunction with these. These I shim it up and down, and I take that height gauge and
Let's
run around it to.
let's see how poorly the back half fits. Okay, this goes this way.
Okay, you're hitting on this side. You lack about 16th on this side, a little bit. Well, you're not straight. Then go over there.
Yeah, but see, it's lifted. I don't know, it's down.
Is this right side up?
I think so. Yeah, this is the side the stab gets cut into, so that's that way. That's the right way. I guess we can tack a couple those back here, huh?
You can when you get it up in here all the way. It's got to be up in here as far as it's going to go. So,
Well, I'm gonna need to file out the trailing edge here of this, or cut. You see a knife.
so I'm going to take a couple more of these and put these on the front of this wing to sort of lock that wing in there. There's a couple for back there.
I'm on a tether here. I'm gonna let the mic go for a minute. I'm gonna clearance this out. So, 16th, you said?
Yeah, about. Might be a little heavy 16th, but start with the 16th anyway. These little blocks, I lucked out, and I guess I sort of didn't waste them when I made my last build, and I saved it. A lot of times I just make these things new every single airplane. These wedges are about the only thing you really don't have to.
Remember, we got to get that horn back on there before we put this on.
Okay, now you're tight right there. Yeah, now.
But it's lifted up.
Well, let's see what's done.
So it's here. I need a piece of sandpaper. It's right here. 80 grit. Where's that stick? Here we go. How close is it?
Pretty close, right where it sits right there. It wants to bounce up on the back.
Get this horn in here so I don't forget. That would be a disaster.
Yeah, it could be. Is this going to be in the way?
Well, maybe.
Don't matter where we put it.
What's in the way is these darn wires.
Yeah.
I guess I need to glue this in before we go too far.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to glue that in upside down or something like that. Little fine night fussing.
What I need to do is, like I've been talking about, is get over here and put a microphone in up there on the rafters. I got a couple that we could use.
This is a little bit different than what you do at home.
Yeah, it doesn't matter then, it's all the same.
You end up with the same thing.
As long as it's straight, who cares? I never use an incidence meter, but
Well, I have one, so therefore I use one.
I got 4 of them. Yeah, I do have an inclinometer I use sometimes.
Well, that's nice, I guess, if you got a flat surface.
So that side's okay. This side is acting goofy. Why? I need to epoxy these in here now. Some 5-minute. Keeps moving around. You guys are probably looking at the back of my head. That's the way it goes. I gotta get this done. There we go. Okay, let me move the camera. Have we done the stress test yet? No. I guess we can do that today, huh?
No, we haven't done the stress test yet. I haven't cut anything up. It's all still the way it was.
Can anybody answer why you always mix 200 times more epoxy microballoons?
Air epoxy light, whatever it is, more than you need.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot.
My excuse is I don't want to run out halfway into something. So, a minor price to pay for. Need toothpick?
Yeah, probably be good. I can get it stuck down in the hole.
Need some more of them.
Huh?
I'm gonna need to get me some more of them. I think I got some around here somewhere. Ah, right there. Round toothpicks, indispensable item.
That and cotton swabs.
Yeah.
I think Wendy finished his whole airplane with cotton swabs.
Yeah. Yeah, he goes wild with them. Well, they're really good though. You know, if you take a cotton swab and you wipe every one of your glue joints, you're removing a lot of excess glue that you just don't need.
Well, answer me this: why were Wendy's airplanes always 70 ounces?
Because he put on 20 pounds of paint. Had pretty airplanes though.
Okay, gluing the horn in. That's where it's going to be. Make sure it's parallel. Make sure it's square with the trailing edge. Just eyeball it. Not building a watch. Pretty good.
Let me see your fuselage side. This got an accurate center line on it. This center line you got here on this wing, is that what you're going off of? Okay, that's set and locked down. Let's get your wing done tip to tip. and get these wedges underneath of it and where it needs to go.
Gotta rotate back like that. Tip to tip, what do you mean? Oh, okay.
Because you can't really, you need to get it pretty quick because you got to get that
What?
control horn in there
It's
tweaked
in there.
right.
No, it's in there. It's where it's supposed to be right now. As long as it's parallel with the trailing edge this way, it's
Okay.
right in the center.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
And as long as it's, this way, which it is, I'm just waiting for it to dry. We'll wait for that to dry.
Boy, that pop's sweet. Sweet, sweet.
It'll be bouncing off the walls here in a minute.
Yeah, and I check my blood lunchtime. I'll probably be up the window.
The 10 millions?
Yeah,
I don't know how that shit works.
be 250 or 300 or something like that. And I should be 70. I'm never 70 though. Well, anybody unaware, I'm a diabetic, so I'm drinking leaded pop right now. So I got extra ones here in case you need to jack that back up and down and hold it. We can slide these in here. Or the front. Sometimes you gotta roll the wing a little bit. Now the thing about this is he's built this thing where this cutout is made off a lost foam jig. And the lost foam jig's got center lines on it and everything. So the cutout was put according to the center lines on the fuselage sides, according to the lost foam jig. You really don't need to do anything to this front end because it self-aligns. So it's at the right height. The biggest thing is getting the back end and left to right. Wingtip to wingtip, I should say.
Now Hunt, he cuts out a jig from the
Yeah, you can do that. And slide it over the end of the rib. And I think I got some we can show you guys what they look like.
So it basically becomes like a beam wing setup.
These aren't for this airplane, but
They probably work.
this is sort of what they are. And that just basically, that's exactly what you want at the wingtip, opposed to the fuselage side. That's what you want at the wingtip. And you slide one over each wing and then pin it down to the ground and hold your wing right in place. This was for a Tudor 2.
Too low. If that center line would have come out, we could have just put that on there.
Yeah. It's probably not thick enough. That's a sort of a thinner wing. I think I got some other ones too. I make them for almost all my airplanes. Here's one for a Yak. Look at that wing. Look at that airfoil.
That's too high. Too high, too low.
There's an SV.
Let's try that one. That's probably.
That's a root.
Yep.
This is a tip.
Oh.
It won't fit.
Too high. Too high.
You see, I make them for all my airplanes, and I can do that. I do that a lot too. I do all the different ways.
You can do it by eye.
Yeah. I build a lot of airplanes in hand. Really in hand, literally.
I'd say that's pretty close right there. Nope. Either that or this is wrong. And the wing's got to be rolled back
What's higher? Which side's higher?
about the same.
They're the same,
About now, yeah.
but they're both higher than the...
Yep, then the center line. Oh. There's the center line right there. Oh, man. Oh, good. It was mostly dry.
I gotta laugh.
How's the incidence meter say?
Doink, 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 doink. It says it's got to go up. This is a little low in the back.
Well, if you do that, then it's not where it's supposed to be.
We need to work on this real quick.
What's wrong?
We need to, it's in further on this side than it is on that side. Oh, right there, right there.
Check the front of the wing.
I don't have a center line on the wing per se. I got a fuselage line, and the fuselage line is showing it's a little bit high on the front. I mean, this is low compared to the line on the fuselage side. Now I took this off that fuselage mark.
Yeah, but what side did you take it from?
The left side.
Let me see that thing.
Don't grab that pin, you'll move it up and down.
Yeah, see, it's low.
It was right on.
See, it goes on like that. Well, it's pretty close. It's a little low, so
Yeah, and do that little screw right there on the side. Screw the top of it.
oh,
Turn that and it'll go up and down.
this is a real precision machine.
Yeah, that's
It's got to go down a little bit. And what does the front say?
front can't move. All I can see is that this is different than what you're using back there in the back. See, it's still a pencil, two pencil lines. This is two pencil lines below the mark on the fuselage side. On that side. This side, it's about a pencil line below.
Yeah,
Lower than this line,
yeah.
this mark.
And the incidence meter says what? Let's see. Yeah.
It sort of sits there.
Them things aren't real accurate.
And it's pretty accurate, man, I'm telling you. You got a bubble level right there to boot. So you can look at a bubble level and it's showing it a little bit this way.
I say pretty close. How about the other side?
How you telling? You got a
Just
mark?
look at the center. Just guess.
It's not too bad, but you really don't know if you're this way yet. So you gotta get your tip center on your mark.
That already.
You don't have one locking it in on that side.
You got this one though.
Once you get that set, then you can lock that in and then make sure they're all good before you run around there and tack them down. This will tell you if you got a warp in your wing too. Because if you're not in the center on both wing tips, there's a warp somewhere. Center in the middle and center on each tip.
Okay, that's the center right there. Close. I mean, I don't have a mark there.
Just I barely put it until it barely touches.
You can tell I got some sandpaper on that.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough dope.
Do your back first. Just touching. That's in right on 0.
So the wing's straight.
Pretty good. Listen, this is more accurate than you can make a wood product. You can take this thing outside and jig it up on a flat table out in the garage, and I guess bet it'll be different. Yeah, it'll warp. I mean, just the heat difference. You know, wood is so uncontrollable as far as expansion and contraction and all that stuff. You can get it close. Anybody that says that they can get any closer than a 64th of an inch is full of it. They could machine all these parts and CNC cut all of them, and I guarantee you that it ain't going to be any closer than that, because it's going to expand and contract and do whatever it wants to do.
Okay, so we got the wing in where it belongs.
Okay, now we can lock these in by putting a little drop of glue on all of them.
Yep.
These wedges. What this does, in case you guys ain't with us here on this, you can pull this wing out here and put it back in there, and it's going to be the same. You can remove it, do whatever you want to with it. It's a little heavy. These are good.
I definitely want this to fly as good as my Junar, so let's hope it's straight.
As straight as you're gonna make it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you won't make it as straight in your apartment.
No. I was thinking about, well, if I don't go over John's, I can take off the coffee table and put on this board.
Nah, ain't the same.
No. Okay. Now we got to sand
Now,
this.
if this doesn't fit, then you need to do sanding on this opening.
Yep.
So if it's pushing the wing up or anything like that, then the opening's got to be sanded out on the bottom.
Give me that stick.
Go that way. Oh, too far.
Yeah, but I'm up against the. Pretty damn close. I mean,
Got to come forward more.
how much?
1/8 of an inch almost.
Both sides?
Yep. Yep. Still a little bit more. Looks like you need to make that cutout deeper back there.
Like this one?
Both of them. No, the one where it butts to the trailing edge.
Okay.
So you need a little narrow sanding block. Let me see what I got.
I got a knife. Or just
Yeah. Here. Don't drop this on your wingtip.
doesn't really matter what the lines are on this fuselage side. It's what
The
is
top is flat.
Yeah.
So it's so easy to draw a line wrong, you know, a pencil line off, and you get one pencil line up and one pencil line down, a little bit of where you want, and then all of a sudden you're, you know, 3/32 of an inch off, or eighth of, you can get as far as 1/8 of an inch off, real easy.
It, you know, like you said, this is exact on the glass. So wherever this ends up is where it ends up.
This table is not just flat, it's leveled all directions. I leveled it and shimmed it with paper, shimmed it flat with paper, and leveled it with paper and all that stuff, and leveled the legs of the table.
Still got to go forward, huh?
Yeah, another, well, a little bit, yeah. It's hitting the back side of this hole, that on both sides, a little bit. So the hole itself's got to go back a little bit.
You're talking about right here.
Yeah, the back of the hole's got to go back.
Not this hole, that hole.
The push rod, the control horn hole,
Oh, okay.
the round hole. You don't want any rub in there anyway.
I got bearings that go in there.
Oh, okay.
I thought ahead. Because usually when they come out of the port, they look so crappy coming out.
Yeah, you don't put any little side piece. Well, this plane doesn't get it because the flaps are rounded.
Right.
But normally you get a little side piece glued on the side of the
Yeah, you can
fuselage
hide
that
it.
covers all that. Yeah. Push it on up in there. Is it fitting tight? Does it feel like it's binding on anything?
This all gets super filled in anyway, so.
Bring it on home. I'll tell you what it's doing. Gonna have to sand. You gotta sand this opening out right in here and right in here on both sides, bottom side.
Down here.
Yeah, like this much of it.
Okay. Okay, see what it's doing up there.
Okay, what's it feel like when you push it up in there? A little snug.
Goes over here.
It's not changing. It's not lifting this up, is it, when it's all the way up in there?
No.
Yeah. Okay. And just a little teeny bit, like right on this last little inch. Feel pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay, looks pretty good. So you can only glue one side of it. You know what I mean? And then you got to lift it up to get the other side to line these pieces up.
I need a couple of them sticks, these uprights, to so I can get it centered on the line. One.
There's one right there beside you.
Okay, you guys, seen how much time we've taken on alignment. We've been on this over an hour now. That's how important it is.
You don't really need to glue both sides of that because you're down hard, and all it's doing is stopping it from going left and right.
Right.
These, I had these made just in case you needed to stick one in here or something. You really don't. You don't need it.
Let's see if anybody said anything here. What's the fancy tool for checking the height around the wing?
To level, it's a height gauge.
Yeah.
A machinist's height gauge.
For surface plate and layout.
Listen, I made one of these out of a piece of 3/4 inch plywood that I cut a little triangle out of, and I made a little dowel rod, and I cut another little triangle out of a piece of plywood and drill a hole the size of the dowel rod in it and slide it up and down on the dowel rod. Little wedge going out to the front, which is sort of this little wedge down here. And I put a little set screw in that triangle piece that would move up and down. They're so simple. I took a big fat washer, got, big, 2.5 inch diameter washer, and I glued it to the base, so it gave it a little weight to hold it down there. And I made a whole bunch of those and gave them to a bunch of all the club members and everything. Now, whether they use them or not, but
there's not a whole lot technical there.
No, I mean, just picture this as, You know, this part is a piece of plywood, the base is a piece of plywood, and this is dowel rod. Plain and simple. Little set screw right in here to lock it in your height, and you're good to go. Make your plywood come out here to a wedge. So simple. There don't have to be any measurements on it up and down or anything like that. You set to each individual one, and you set your little set screw and don't move it. Piece of cake. Like I said, the big washer on there, just put glued on the top of the plywood base, and you've got your little height gauge. This I happened to get from, there's a Gersheimer's toolbox company that's right across the river from me over here, and every year they have a sale of seconds and all sorts of stuff. Like one year they had boxes and boxes of steel rulers. They had one little flaw in it, like one little line didn't have the paint in it, and you couldn't see it. Well, they had to reject it because it wasn't a precision up to their standards. Well, this was out there. This is probably a really expensive thing. I don't. These things are probably $800 or $900. Who knows? But they had that thing sitting there, and I'm going, "How much you want for that?" And they said, "Oh, give us $10." I said, "Fine." I gave them $10. Comes in a nice wooden box and everything. And I was buying these steel rulers, as you see me use one earlier, and they had all different sizes. This is a 4-footer. You can't tell what's wrong with it.
Probably because it had a little rust.
But see, there's one little grind mark on it right there.
Yeah.
Might have been an imperfection. It's tempered stainless steel.
Could be that discoloration there.
You know, but there was a flaw in it that they didn't like, and half the time you couldn't even see it. But they had boxes of these things for like $3 a piece. You know how much how much one of these stainless steel rulers would cost? Machinist rulers. They had all sizes. So see, I got 1 foot long, 2 foot long, 4 foot long.
He's got a stupid ruler that's a 0 ruler.
A 3 foot long. Yeah, this is a nice ruler to have. I got this from Tire Hobbies or one of them places. It's a 0. It's a centering rule. So you can set this on there. It's got a 0 in the center and 1, 1, 2, 2, all the way up to 5 inches on each side.
Don't try to use it
or
to
6
measure
inches.
With. It'll drive you crazy.
And you can find the center of anything real easy. If it's 1 3/8 on this side and 1 3/8 on that side, mark it, because that's your center. Well, it's got both ways of measuring on it. It's got a regular 12-inch rule down one side, or the centering thing on the other, and I got
see how nice that'll look?
64ths and 32nds. Yeah. On the other side, but I put tape on it to sort of keep it from slipping.
Here, hang this up.
My T-square I made, homemade T-square.
Okay, so I guess we're ready to glue. Tack it together and take it off and turn it over, or what?
Yeah, I'll tell you what I would do. Yeah, I would probably do just that. Unless you want to epoxy it on there, or do you want to?
Last night I saw Wendy glue his motor mounts in with super glue.
Well, it's up to you. It's your airplane, not mine.
I guess we could epoxy it.
I mean, epoxy it, you got pulled out. It'd be just as good super glue, and nothing gonna hurt it.
It's gonna get.
I mean, it's just gonna dry real quick.
Gonna get super fill behind it, so it ain't coming off.
Any gaps that's in there, you're gonna be forcing super fill, which is epoxy, into it. So
Glue it. Put a drop right there and a drop right there. We'll turn it over and
Yeah. Are you working okay?
yeah, that's happened to me before on my Thunderbolt. I said, Ron, drop a super glue right here, and he dropped the glue and it went down into that horn and locked it up.
Oh yeah, it'll do that. This might be too thin. See, I stay away from those hinges.
Well, it wasn't his fault. It just wicked down in there so quick it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
He got it unstuck though.
We might have to get a little thick back in there or something.
Yeah.
No, tighten it up.
No.
And get some thick stuff back in there.
Let's see what the chatters say. We got 5 watchers, 10 thumbs up. What's the fancy? Okay, same thing. Wendy had 50 formers in the fuse, 30 ribs in his stabilizer, and a solid 1/2 inch in his engine crutch. Yeah, I know.
Hit this with some kicker.
That's the Big Jim technology. That stiffened it up.
That's the only part I hate about that kicker stuff. It doesn't really dry very good. I'll wipe it off and then I worry about it.
Taking the dope off?
Well, we're causing a sticking issue with the dope. That's why I use prep saw. Get any kind of oils. Stuff sort of acts like it's got an oily texture to it. Stick my ow, my bird hurt. Burn.
All right, well, let's turn it over. Pretty satisfied with the alignment. Gonna have to figure something out for the former here. Of course, I knew the former was not going to was going to interfere with the push rod, the horn. Let's see where we are on battery. You are almost out of battery, and the transmitter is at 2/3.
This height gauge was made in
China.
Cosimill, Birmingham, England. Frost Engineers.
That's probably, like you said, $800 tool.
It's looking flat as flat can be.
Okay, now
Now this won't fit the same way in here. It'll go down in there, but it really won't fit. But maybe it will. I don't know.
pretty close.
Pretty close, yeah. I didn't think it would because the height difference off the ground is different on this side than it is on the other. What we can't do, what you need to do now is you can't push these together. So if you got a little bit of a gap here on this, you got to stick something in there.
Yeah.
So it looks like it needs a piece of 64th inch balsa wood or something. Which we just so happen to have a piece here somewhere. See that razor blade there.
It's almost like this thing's twisted a little bit.
Maybe.
Wick some thick down in there. When I hold this thing, it's in a twist a little bit, so if I hold it untwisted,
Do it while you hold that.
that's pretty damn good there. Let's see if the top block fits now.
Here. Let me get it for you before you hang yourself there.
Yeah, I'm hanging myself with the wires. 110 minutes, 6 watchers, 12 thumbs up. No super chats. Pretty damn good. We only missed by 64th of an inch back here.
That's I never worry about that because that stuff right there is going to vary. I always leave the tail of the airplane a little long to allow for sanding and angles and all that kind of stuff. You're all the way up to the front.
Well, his nuts are gonna
Coming up out of the cockpit.
Yeah, put a little handle up there for the up and down stick. Yep, right where he sits, his nuts are right there.
Yeah.
That'll be all right. Sometimes you got it. Well, I think even on my other Tucker, I had to build a little box there.
I've had a lot of them that come up higher than the fuselage sides do, and you got to do something with them. And you use those long horns, those 1.5-inch horns, that's sort of to be expected. Whereas you know, if you're a guy that's building 35 size airplanes all the time, you're not using 1.5-inch horns, you're using 1 inch or 1.25 inches or something like that.
I'm pretty happy with that. It come out pretty straight, didn't it?
Yeah, well, it better be straight. No pretty about it. Well, it's pretty, yeah.
So now the next step is to cut the elevator hole and make the push rod length, and then glue the top block on without gluing the stab in.
Yeah. That's the only part I don't like. I don't like cutting this off right here, and because you always end up with the seam there.
I'm not cutting this off. This doesn't get cut off. It gets cut out down here.
Well, a lot of times it gets cut off because then you get to in there to glue it better.
Stab gets slid under in this right here.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
We're gonna have to move these though, which is not a big deal. Came out pretty square, but it was twisted pretty good. But by holding it and having a second set of hands gluing it while I held it, it cut. I mean, that's pretty square, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I wouldn't see. Yeah, I would consider there's no pressure on it. Can't get no squarer than that. Yeah. You need some practice.
I don't think I'm gonna fly the nets this year. You gonna do it?
Yeah, I haven't sent anything in yet, but yeah, I think I'm gonna go. I think everything needs as much support as it can get after all this bull crap that's going on, and we need to support it because of what the FAA's is going to do, or whoever the idiots in power
The FA.
trying to take our rights away from us. And
Better wick some CA in around that frontal area there. Let's see what the moments come out. Okay. This ruler here, one I can read easy. It's perfect.
Okay, where's my sticks at?
I need a hardback saw so I can saw down through here. That saw or whatever. Someone saw.
Nobody knows what those are.
Uh-oh. I hear my stomach.
And it's only 11:30, bud, so. Watch you don't cut all the way through the damn back of the fuselage.
I need something to half it, like a motor mount, piece of motor mount about 4 inches long.
Man, you don't ask for much now, do you?
Nope.
There's a piece of motor mount about 12 inches long. It's half by half.
Perfect. Now, let's see, pencil, a pen. I'm gonna cut to right here.
Who?
Razor blade. I think.
Yeah. Are you being frugal, or do you not want a full-length piece?
Well, the thing has to swing back there. I mean, well, yeah, I guess I could cut a full length piece out of that other side.
Well, we'll get you an extra piece and hold another piece. You want to use 3/16? You want to use 1/8 inch? You want to use quarter?
This piece 1/8 inch should be fine. That I cut out of here. I just cut it in half.
Well, okay, if that gives you enough wood. Or you can use this strip.
Yeah, it'll work. I should have had these cut out before I did this. Really. This side come out good. This side came out bad because I'm not left-handed.
Yeah, ran with the grain a little bit on you or something.
Yeah.
Try to cut it out the right. Here, let's do it like this. You can just hold on for a second.
Glue it back in and cut it out.
Yep. can see the smoke coming off of it. Yeah, that'll burn you.
Wow. I really got a cattywampus.
You use that X-Acto knife over there instead of that single-edged razor blade.
I think that's 1/2 inch. Might be 5/8.
Better hope it's not 3/8.
It's not 3/8.
Doesn't make any difference even if it was.
It's an 1/8 of an inch more.
Allow for the wire.
No, it's an 1/8 of an inch more. It's 5/8 on that. Okay, hold on to it. It's a hard piece of wood. And
Yeah.
really hard with CA on it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's turn it over. This doesn't matter. I mean,
It's only a thing. You know where you want it?
nope. Okay.
Hey, you can do by a little painter guy, a little Vietnam veteran, what's his name? We just put a happy little cut here and a happy little cut there. And everything will be all fine.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name now.
Bob Ross?
Bob Ross, yeah.
Mr. Crazy Hair?
Yeah, I think he was a little shell shocked.
Put the
I'm sorry, he's a Vietnam War vet, and I think he had to. Can't get him on there while it's all jigged.
Yeah.
When you're ready to take it out of the jig, then are you wanting to put that in there and?
I'm gonna make a push rod up, yeah, get it set up and get the top block glued on. And then we'll set it in there, glue it down.
You gotta put your doublers in there and all that junk.
Need to make sure if we got it down far enough. Down too far, actually.
What little rule?
What?
Little ruler. Where are my little rule?
Yeah, I guess it's all right.
Pretty nice.
Not bad for eyeball, huh?
Yeah, you had to accurately cut 1/2 by 1/2 motor mount on mine. Getting there.
Yeah,
These sticks, by the way, are for putting out here for when you glue that in there, they actually go on the underside of the stab when the elevators are off of it. You measure here at the center, distance between trailing edge and the trailing edge of your stab, and then you take this piece and put a mark from here back here to your pencil line, that same dimension. You put it out here and put it on both lines, and one little pin here, one little pin there, and a pin back there, pin back there. It holds that stab square with the wing.
And then eyeball it.
And then tilting it, it's all eyeball. It's all free floating. I don't ever weight down a stab or anything like that when you put them in there, because inevitably, when you pull it back up, it'll be crooked. On something like that, weight will induce a warp. Don't ask me how I know.
Well,
Come out good.
well, not to.
I mean, you can't get any, as long as your tabletop is level and flat. And it's flat corner to corner, left to right, front to back, in the center, both ways.
All right, guys. Let's see here. Need to figure out how to mount this microphone up here. Testing 1, 2.
Probably works all right. It picked, the other day you thought it wasn't picking, I didn't have my mic on, you thought it wasn't picking me up. It was picking me up fine, and I was 5 feet away from you. Your mic was picking me up. Here, you're too short, you little short shit.
Yeah, well, stick it up there. See what happens. Just throw it over there. Let it dangle down. There we go. How about now? Can you guys hear okay? Let me know. Can you hear us okay? We're working on microphone setup. Because I'm tired of being tethered to the pole.
I knew their Friday night chat, they had all sorts of sound issues. I mean, it was breaking up big time almost all the way through the whole chat session.
Well, that's because everybody tries to talk all at once. Okay, so now we need to make a push rod up. I brought a push rod over here.
It's underneath that paint can stuff. Underneath the paint.
And I have this in my pocket. My pochetta. This is the left-hand thread one.
You're doing an actual real turnbuckle type.
Yeah. So we need let me measure this again, 16 1/4.
Center is to center.
Yeah, should be. It's actually 16 1/8, it looks like.
What do you want? Center of the wire?
Yeah, it's no right there.
Shouldn't be center of the wire. It's got to be trailing edge.
Yeah, it'll be trailing edge to trailing edge. It's 16 even. Of course, I don't know. I mean, if we make it, let it go. Yeah, 16 even. So if you move it back to the wire.
Well, you got a tilted forward bell crank, or
I'm not
Control
worried about
horn.
this at all. I'm just going wire to wire and trailing edge to trailing edge. So, yeah, 16. So it's 1/4 inch shorter than the other one. All right. It'll be fine.
I'm happy. You're happy. I'm tickled to death.
At least it's not longer. Let's see what the nose moment ended up. I think we lost it. I think I gained a quarter on the nose. That's exactly what happened.
10.5 inches.
Yeah. It was 10 and a half, 10 and a quarter, 16 and a quarter.
You're probably 10.25 right at the very point of the wing out to here. You know, if you didn't have that cutout in it.
It'll be fine.
Listen, an inch difference in any one of these dimensions will not affect the way the airplane flies enough to be able to notice.
Oh yeah, it will.
I don't think so. Not an inch. You start changing 2 inches, then you might be into something. But for an inch, I don't think the normal person could really tell.
Okay. Okay. Let's put this together for real now. You got a 1/4 inch wrench? That shouldn't come apart. Okay, so let's make up the push rod. I need to get a bulkhead in here of some type too.
Yep, bulkhead. You put your doublers in back there yet?
No.
That should be 4 inches. That's how white of wood you used, isn't it?
Exactly. Exactly right.
You want some meat? You want to put that in with medium?
I don't know.
Or, well, fast is probably, the thin is probably better anyway. As you can sort of wick it down in there.
If it would come out of the bottle.
Yeah, good luck.
wondering if I'm going to have to make a cheek cal on this one like I did the other one, which is not a big deal.
I don't know. I think this is a little wider in the back than.
Yeah, but I don't have ball length on the other one. It's a wire, isn't it?
Yeah, you might end up just cutting a hole, and you could put a piece of tissue over top of it. Maybe get away without a wart.
Can't really see that wart.
Well, no, you can't see it unless you pick it up.
And who's going to pick it up?
Jim Lynch and me. What the hell's this wart back? This looks like an afterthought back here.
Yeah, I guess. Make sure this thing is still, you're still, we've been on 137 minutes.
Wow.
Okay, where'd that push rod go? Right there.
Right there.
JB Weld, we gotta have 16 inches. This is the welded end. And I better, I need a pair of pliers because the wrench never fits these.
Did you clean all that stuff out real good with alcohol or something?
What?
That rod, or, well, it's not cut to length yet, is it?
Nope. The one end's already glued on. This is a true, I don't normally use these left-handed things, but Oki Air sent me a bunch of left-handed ones. I don't know why.
They cost more, that's why.
Ah! Put it away.
No. You keep burying everything.
Yeah.
I think they can hear that.
It's like Eric Fartwell.
Yeah.
Joe Biden did it too.
Did he?
Yeah.
So much faith in him.
Still not right. Or is
Cut it 3 times and it's still too short.
it too long? Won't be now though.
These don't give you a lot of maneuver room. Be nice if them ball links had about another 1/4 inch on them
There we go.
for the ball link itself.
Glue it together.
Why me?
You're the gluer.
Why me? I'm not any gluer. Give me that shit.
Alright, let's see what you got in chatter. What is the best way to trim a carbon fiber prop? Sandpaper. Brazilla. Bola tarde. Buenos tardes. Sounds good to me. That's good. Boa tarde. I guess that's good afternoon. Or best way to trim a carbon prop. I would say just sand it. To get it on the.
Get it on a board with a pin in the center of the board. I thought I had one here somewhere.
Put the prop on the board right here. Run it out this way, and so you're cutting a 1/2 inch off. Even if you're cutting a 1/2 inch off, well, put some
Tape on it.
tape on it, and take a cutoff wheel and cut it off, and then CA the end of it so the threads don't come apart, and then sand it,
Absolutely.
and then CA it again.
Absolutely. I just put it on this. I put the prop hub through here. Where's the prop at? I should have a prop around here somewhere. This little pin right here is the same diameter as your prop hub. Like this is set up for this side. I just use this little gauge and take a piece of sandpaper on a block and block it down till it's even, and turn it around. Do the other side. You're guaranteed to have 2 blades the exact same length that way. Just make this to whatever length that you want it. And make a bunch of these boards. They only have to be one-sided. And that's just a little piece of brass tubing drilled and put in there. And set to whatever length that you want your blade length to be. Sand it off. CA it and you're done. Piece of cake. Man, that's dirty.
Hope that answered the question on the prop. That was Stingray. I don't know who that is.
Works for wood props, carbon props, any kind of props. I balance props with CA. If they're really bad out, I might sand on them a little bit, but rather than trying to possibly sanding a fault into the prop. They're sanding the pitch off on it or something, or putting flat spots on it. I put CA on it. The back side of the prop side towards the cockpit. And put a drop on there and wipe it out with my finger and put it back on the scale. See if how it weighs.
There we go. I'm just going to use this as the bulkhead. I'll make it out of 8" just to stick across and be fine. It'll be fine.
Put 2 pieces on it.
There's a long John's video today. I've cut this 3 times, and I've cut it longer every time, and it's still never long enough.
You don't want to watch this harden because it's going to be tomorrow before that's hard. Or at least 10 o'clock tonight.
I'll put it together.
It's taped real good.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Shove it in there and tape it. I guess you guys saw how I got that JB weld down in there. Just take that into that open tube and stick it down in there and keep poking it into epoxy and going like that with it, and it'll fill that you can fill that whole tube up just about. If it was open on the other end, it'd push it right out the other end.
I guess it really doesn't have to be there.
Now you just want something to where if you squeeze it,
Yeah, I want it down on the wing though. I guess that'll work right there.
just lay it flat.
No, I want it up here. And then another one
Put
back
it right here. You don't need one up here. Why you need one up here?
I want it on the wing. That's how the other one was, on the trailing edge. Ties it all together. It'll be fine like that. And this is where the pilot sits, so let's see, that's approximately like that. Die crushed wood. This is
Yeah, I know why you got a saw right there.
this is the good stuff here. Nothing but the finest. 70 ounces on it.
Yeah, that's some of that.
The old time scientific kits.
15-pound wood.
That ain't gonna work. see that push rod? I gotta see what the angle of the dangle is.
It don't matter. It's got to clear this one too in full deflection.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get it but about a 1/4 inch wide piece up in there. What'll do it is your floor. When you put your floor in here for your cockpit, that'll be your piece back here.
I guess just one on the bottom then, huh? Use some thicker set CA to glue that in so it doesn't wick down in the rod. It'll be fine. He's got a guard. Remember that?
What's that?
He'll be fine. He's got a guard.
Yeah.
Under siege.
Yeah. Yeah, Barb doesn't like him.
What?
Barb doesn't like him. But Hart Stevens to go. Is that where you want it?
Hmm?
Is that where you want it?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
Make sure it's glued to the wing is all.
I will, but I need to spritz that. You got the spritzer?
I don't know what happened to it.
It's up here. Let's take this out before it runs down.
Let's see, we still got battery. Yeah, you still got battery. John's Nobler done? No, not exactly. Pretty close. We'll show you that later on. We only got 4 watchers now. We do have 13 thumbs up, so that's a good thing.
Nibbler just needs, well, it was in limbo there for a while because I was waiting on decals. Now I'm still waiting on decal paper because the laser jet thing didn't pan out. So we're waiting on inkjet decal paper. Till then, I can't get the decals on it. Or the pan lines or any of that stuff. Or the clear. So we're sort of in limbo, I guess.
You got a guard, you'll be fine.
But it'll come together and really, you know, pan lines clear, a couple decals. That's what it lacks. Finish gluing the flaps and elevator on. You can't forget that. I've gone out to the field without them glued in before and said, test fly today. Right. Time to go back home real quick.
You want to fly tomorrow?
I don't know. I'd like to, but I got some stuff I got to take care of that I didn't do today.
That's a good nut there.
I guess if it's taking that much pressure to screw it in, or you're cross-threading it the whole way.
It's all right. It'll be fine. It might be crust around.
Never to leave home.
You gonna zip that off?
I could, I guess. Jesus. I'm gonna bring you up to raise here.
Try not to get the screw to go down inside the wing.
Oh yeah, I've done that. I've done that. I managed to get it out.
Almost.
Almost what? Can't get down in there on it.
Okay.
Good enough.
What?
It's good enough.
Yeah. Now I gotta have 2 washers on this one. You know that, right?
Yeah, one on both sides of that ball,
Yeah.
or it'll spread that slot out.
You also have to have a lock nut on it too,
Yep.
or you'll lose an airplane like I did in Huntersville.
Yep. If you're using an adjustable push control horn on your elevator, it's got a slot in it. They make a T-nut for them that you can use a T-nut like on them, or you can. You gotta cut the top of them bulkheads out of there.
I know, but it's
That's all I do, and then glue a little piece in over the top of it to join it back together.
okay. Yeah, if you're using a ball link with a T-slider, make sure you got a washer on each side of the ball.
If you don't put one between the ball and the control horn, it'll take that little slot and spread it open when you tighten it down.
Make sure you have a lock nut on it, because that's how I lost my plane in Huntersville. Let's take this off. Make it easy. Nothing's easy.
No, you need about 5 hands when it comes time to do that. Stick that thing on there and I'll screw this on
I need to glue them horns in too.
Let's just take the whole elevator off of it, yeah.
I'll be able to cut this one off close. See how much I mean, that's pretty wide. Gonna have to have a wart, both sides probably.
The problem with them ball lengths, what you need is a forked end
Yeah, but they don't.
control horn.
They don't stay.
What do you mean they don't stay?
Them forked ends.
Have you ever used one of our Moon Brothers? They used to make them.
Are they still? Is Steve still making stuff?
I don't think he is. I think all he's doing is selling plans now. Futura or something like that, or I think they're a bear is what they are. I think they're a Gieske bear or a derivative of it. I'm not positive about that, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Spreading misinformation or whatever, but I sort of thought that that's what they were doing. They had some kind of a rendition. You want to just put a drop of Loctite on that brass piece?
No. I want to lock that out.
Well, you can still put the lock nut on it, but
The problem is it keeps turning. I don't have enough hands.
yeah, you see where I felt like when I had to do that inside the fuselage.
I've done it before. It takes time.
Yeah, and it's frustrating as all get out. I had to put it down for a while and come back to it because I was getting so pissed.
Got it now. Dremel.
I take this out of it every time because inevitably you drop it and you bend the doggone shaft and break the thing. And you just have it over there. It's out of the way.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be too
Gonna be
narrow.
dragging. I always do.
Yeah. It's all right. We'll figure it out. Okay.
You know, I'm not so sure that you really need that little brass nut that's on there. That you can't get by with just a nylon lock nut instead of that little brass piece.
You're gonna need to change your batteries out in your talker.
Nobody can hear me? Well, that might be a good thing.
It's flashing now, so you're still on, but we've been on 167 minutes. And let's see here. The transmitter's still at 2/3. Okay, so I'm gonna need actually this won't be bad, it's right at the bottom bottom of the fuselage.
Batteries are sort of warm. You getting them batteries at Harbor Freight?
Oh, Walmart. Okay, let's have a little epoxy so I can glue these horns in.
What kind do you want? 5 minute?
Yeah. Not enough to stick my arm in.
Well, I want you to stick your arm in it. That's my comic relief. I go out and check new cars out.
Uh-uh.
And when I go there, I get a bunch of brochures on all the different cars and I cut them up and make them for epoxy mixing.
Oh man, that's about 10 times too much. All I need
That's enough right there for both of them.
Yeah, at least. For all the hangers, probably.
That's all right. Make sure you got enough to mix right.
Oh yeah.
And I get to watch you. How many popsicle sticks? You got a popsicle stick
No.
over there?
Nope. Figure it out.
Ah, dang. They got two ends on them, you know? Buy them popsicle sticks at the craft store for 5,000 of them for $7 or something like that. 1,000 of them.
99 cents for 100, I think, at Walmart. Penny a piece. Toothpick. When you're doing this, make haste.
Yeah, that's, yeah, 5 minutes, man. It'll get you. It'll get you. It'll reach out and touch you. Isn't there? Gotta let it dry.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the sticks across here now.
Is this one of the hobby shops push rods?
Nope. Never the expensive ones.
Using that TLR method.
Yep.
Lick your thumb, point over there, and that looks about right. Why are you spacing it out so far for? You
What?
spreading it? Here, let's see.
Pretty close the way it is, huh?
Yeah. I mean, you can just barely smidgen a little bit bigger, but just barely enough to hold it in there, but.
I knew that was coming.
Mm-hmm. You've had about 15 opportunities to do that so far, and you haven't, so. The only thing I haven't seen him do yet is cut himself and leave his mark inside of his airplane. I normally got a blood spot inside of every one of them somewhere or another.
Now we need to see about the floor. I mean, that should.
It's way up there now. I'll tell you, it's not leaving much of a floor. Get it at its highest point, which is probably right about right there. Don't lacks very little, about a 1/4 inch. Maybe 3/8.
Swing it back and forth and see if it hits.
That's all the way down right there. It's just, it's right on the front of him.
Let's see how close the push rod is. Why is it stuck? Have this backwards. I do. It must be backwards. Come on. Looks like they're up. Flaps are up. So that would mean push rod's too long.
Yeah.
Look here. Flaps are up.
They're still up. I moved them down a little bit. That means it's pretty long. Got a lot of up elevator in it. You need about...
Yeah, I can bend them though.
Might take that.
Huh?
Might take that. Might not have enough shortening.
Yeah, there is no more shortening in it, I don't think. I'll just bend them. Well, let's take it out of the jig and put the flaps on it.
Probably take the jig down. I don't think we really need it anymore, do we?
No.
You're gonna free glue that in there. And all we need is the sticks for that to get it left and right.
Got a super fill in here yet.
Yeah. These things I'm probably gonna just have to break up.
Super fill and then the pilot, the cockpit floor. Gotta figure that out.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, destroyed them.
That's typically what happens.
The triangles are still good. Sticks on the end there. All right, as you can see in this session, basically got the airplane together, one piece lined up. Now it's just the details. All that's left is to finish it.
Just a minor setback.
COVID.
Yeah.
What's known as allergies. Oh, did you see the Italian thing? They're treating it as a respiratory, and it's really a pulmonary.
No, really.
Yeah, they're clotting the blood. That's an Italian study.
Nobody knows what the hell it is, I don't think. They're all just taking big wild guess. Save all these parts and pieces you can reuse them. They're not all smashed up.
It's a WAG, wild ass guess.
Yeah.
Okay, basically the airplane will be done, finished in a foam fixture like this, free floating. So we can get the stab in straight.
Where'd that rubber band come from? Do you have a rubber band on something?
No.
I know where it came from.
Huh?
I know where it came from now. Around the sandpaper.
That was a pretty good guess. It's a little long. The rudder on the other one, the elevators come about mid rudder, and this is about an inch longer.
Yeah.
But I didn't do anything on paper. I did it all.
That looks about right.
Yeah. And nobody would know that unless you built the other one.
Need to put the flaps on it, see what the whole thing looks like.
See if I did it right. Gotta go that way. What do you think?
These look good.
Look like a Tucker?
Looks like a mother tucker. A mother tucker.
Well,
Everything's all wobbled.
yeah.
It won't be when it's done. Actually, it's laying there pretty good. Not too far off at all. So that means that your cuts are pretty good. A little bit high on this side, but Could just be a little bit heavier wood on that side. Yeah, that's a little better. Square it up in there.
Yep. Yep. Great day in Lincoln City, Oregon. Nope, I already mentioned that one. Only got 3 watchers, 16 thumbs up, 189 minutes. That's how long it took to put this thing together so far. What time is it?
So it took 3 hours? Oh yeah, it's lunchtime. Time 12:51.
All right, guys, we're going to end the stream. We'll come back after lunch, finish this up. So I appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, share, join the channel for some extra content. And we'll see you in about an hour. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.
See ya.